Small says we're good. That's good enough. That's good for me. That's it.
Cool.
Oh, and someone's already saying, Diggs, why aren't you using your VTuber? But it's too late. All right, let's get.
I didn't know Akkeito was going to reveal his VTube today. Otherwise, I would have shown up with the mole.
All right, well, let's count her down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Uno.
Okay, everyone, it's time for another Visions of InterVisions. Damn. Oh, well, I already screwed this up. Well, it's the 3rd episode, so there'll be plenty of time in the future to do an appropriate opening. Hello, I am Umber Rays, here to join you and a bunch of great individuals today as we do our 3rd episode and hopefully try not to screw everything up. So, as always, we're going to start with introductions this week. We have a fantastic, huge group today, so I'm expecting this episode to maybe be under the 3-hour mark, which is great. That works out just perfectly for me. Maybe not for these guys who are a little bit later at night. So let's get some introductions and hello. So first of all, the amazing Dr. Diggs.
Hello, I'm Diggs. It's a beautiful day in the Pacific Northwest.
And next up is the fantastissimo Merlox.
Hey dudes, that's one hell of an intro. I was ready for whatever that was. Fantasmio.
Fantastissimo. And next up we have the virtual heartthrob himself, Akkeito. Hello.
Hi everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's an absolute pleasure to be here today.
And, of course, last but certainly never least, ElderWolf making his premiere. Say hello to the people.
Hello as well. How are you doing?
Oh, that's a dad joke.
Perfect.
Yep. All right. So, as always, we like to check in with our content creators and see how their week has gone. So, this week, of course, Black Witch Helena came out on the Wodev Global side. And as for me, a JP player, and, well, I guess Akkeito too, but, like, it's... How was your week in Wodev? Let's start with you, Diggs.
Yeah, it sucked. I spent way too much Visior pulling for Black Rose Helena. But I 6-starred in Guild Battle, which never happens. So it's kind of good.
All right.
How's it? Black Rose Helena's an easy button. It's nice to have an easy button.
The real question people want to know, did you finally get your Thunder Kitty?
No.
Oh.
I did not get the Thunder Kitty. This is very... I might do the VC step up on my next stream, and hopefully I'll get Thunder Kitty, but it's very annoying that all I've wanted is an MR VC, and they took units off of the Black Rose Helena banner. Like, why? Why would they do that?
Oh, that's sad. It's really sad when a whale can't even get a mid-tier vision card. All right, next... Oh, sorry.
No, I think it's amazing tier. Not mid tier.
It's not mid tier. Not in rarity. All right. So Merlox, how about you? How's your week been?
Oh, my week's been okay. I pulled Black Rose Helena, I think pull 5 out of the 9. I got Thunder Kitty first pull. I got all sorts of good things. By the way, Thunder Kitty isn't actually in any of the banners this week, which is actually really weird.
Isn't it?
You know that? It is not.
It's so dumb.
Yeah. So other than that, yeah, it's been super solid. Been slow building Black Rose Helena up. I'm 5 shards away from 99, or from cap, and then I can just spend all my soul shards maxing her out, whatnot. But yeah, no, it's been an okay week.
All right, good. And next up, Akkeito, how about you? How's your week been?
Yeah, similarly, I also pulled for Black Rose Helena, and I had to go to the first, I guess, pity bar to get her, but we did get her, and that's nice. And so, I guess for me, I've also been working on Venera EX and her and Shadow Lynx's new VC card, which is what I was really most excited for. So, currently trying to find a guild battle formation with Black Rose Helena and Venera that works pretty well. On the JP side, I've been quietly observing the Jaden Rundle release sort of complaints, and that's been a very interesting thing to sort of go through.
It's so weird to me that people are complaining because he seems like an amazing unit to me.
Yeah,
He's
for
not
sure.
OP,
It's
and that's angry.
We will get into talking about Mr. Jaden, King of the Rundal, very shortly. But ElderWolf, how has your week been this week?
Been pretty good. Minute did not learn his lesson. Challenged me to another pool war, so I pulled 2 Helenas. I think he's still pulling.
Wow.
And then I think my guild pulled Diggs's Helena and everybody else's Helena. So and then celebrating my 13th anniversary this week. So wife got me the sweet shirt.
Ooh.
Congratulations. That is
And
excellent.
EXV Nera.
All right. That's
Level
great.
13.
I'm happy to hear some globalers are going to be working on Venera, because I think on the JP side she's fairly popular. I'll throw it back to myself this week. I felt the burnout pretty hard on Wodev this week.
Oh, no.
I am actually thinking of taking a vacation off next week from Wodev, just because after FF7 and just with all the stuff that went on in the 1.5, I feel like it might be a good vacation week. But hey, guess what? FF7 FF7 InterVisions. It's a crossover product with our show. It's coming out on the PlayStation 5 this week, so that'll work just fine for me.
Only on the PlayStation 5.
Unfortunately.
Man, I gotta get that. Okay.
I gotta get a PlayStation 5. Just like I need to get Thunder Kitty.
Not coming for PlayStation 4?
Nope.
It is the PS5 version that is also coming exclusively with the Yuffie DLC, which is a big sticking point in the Final Fantasy community right now.
Very frustrating. Very frustrating. It's like, you can't even sell me a fucking PS5, and now you're not even going to give me my Final Fantasy VII Remake DLC. Like, come on. I would buy one. Just saying.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll be streaming it, so you can all live vicariously through me. Oh, that's a bad self promo. All right.
Wow. Self-plug, insult others, go.
All right. So let's move on to our next section, which is news of the week. We're going to quickly give some just some opinions. We're going to go through each of our guests and get their quick 10-second opinion on each of these news stories for the week, and then we'll get in a little more depth what's going on each version. But number one this week, Global's new Helena is single cost. So we'll go just down the order. So Diggs, followed by Merlox, followed by Akkeito, followed by ElderWolf. And so Diggs, you first.
You know, I figured it would probably be this way with Helena. What I'll be interested to see is if they go this route with Dwayne EX as well, and if they're going to be changing Dwayne EX in any way.
All right. Next up, Merlox.
Thank you for saving my wallet, Gummy, for once in your damn life.
Aw, that's such a nice feeling. All right, Akkeito, how about you?
I would agree. I'm very appreciative of Gumi doing this because they implemented this a lot faster than they did on the JP side.
That is the trend usually. And Elder, how about you?
Same. I had a feeling that we might see a single cost unit since it'd be a trade off since they couldn't really do anything backwards for Dwayne, and so was pleasantly surprised.
All right, and story number 2: Global's Rose Festival. As an arrogant JP player, I have not played it at all, so I'm curious: is there anything special? All right, Diggs.
Nothing really. I mean, it has some good items, but I'm also a Kraken who can have the soul medals to spare and buy things. I think for the normal player, it's not really anything. And there's a lot of freaking trap stuff in it. I mean, I think for normal non-Kraken players, no, I think it's terrible. I think it's a flop.
All right, Merlox, how about you?
Thank you, Hiroki, for the gift. ? That's really all that Rose Festival was, really. Hiroki's gift.
Okay, Keto, how about you?
Yeah, I don't think there was really anything noticeable except for the new VC, but we'll talk about that later.
All right, and how about you, Elder?
Luckily, I woke up late, so I didn't fall into the trap of spending all my UR coins there. But I'm still don't know. Some of those things look like they may be worth it just because I've got lots and lots of shards. But overall, not. Yeah, it doesn't blow me away.
All right, interesting. So Rose Festival, maybe week 2. Maybe there's a week 2. We'll have to see. All right, so next up, Japan gets a magic gun. So this week we have a new piece of farming equipment, a magic-based gun. Do you think that this is going to mean more magic gun characters, or are we just going to get regular gun characters? How about Diggs?
Probably not. I would imagine Jaden will probably be the only magic gunner character that we get.
All right, vote number 1, Merlox.
Oh boy, it's just going to be like Rain's magical sword. We're going to get another magical greatsword. Wait a second. We're not going to get that.
All right, that's 2 in the no category. All right, Keto, how about you?
I would have to agree, I think.
All right, so 3 for no. This is becoming decidingly one-sided. And Elder?
I mean, so far we've only seen one of each. You know, we got Garvel, Magic Fist, and I think we'll just see one of each for a little while. Maybe they'll do it later. And I'm really confused because Jaden's on a Gun of Thrones, or Throne of Guns, and not sure why he's magical.
Both are acceptable. I'm just going to throw down the thing that everyone's thinking. Veritas of Light. I will see you all in about 2 episodes time when Veritas of Light is released, and we are all we all just want that magic gun. Actually, it'll be 3 months, because that's when Global will be getting Jaden-ish. All right, next up, the Japan raid has been revealed for this week, or for next week, I should say, and it's with Omega, and it is light shooting. I don't know if I'm looking forward to this. The special item this time is the diamond coat. What do you think it's going to be? What's going to be special about this item, do you think? How about Diggs?
I have no idea. I just know Omega is terrible to fight, and I think it's going to be a pretty nasty raid. It's really going to be interesting to see if light will be effective on him in general, or if it's just going to be shooting. I don't know. I don't think it'll be a big deal.
Okay, Merlox.
I think it'll be annoying though.
All right.
What do I think about the diamond coat? Possibly it'll give you a 10% income chance of gil after every fight because they're running out of ideas. And then of course the Omega, if it's just weak to light, I mean, with all the 120s and running around, I'm sure with Diggs, especially with this 120 Rob and Yuna and whatnot, he should be able to mop the floor with it.
Okay, Keto, how about you?
Yeah, for the diamond coat, I don't really have any ideas. If I had to guess, maybe it's kind of the opposite of Brigandine, so it gives maybe unit attack resistance, but kind of curious why they made Ruin Knight Stern the large bonus unit besides Jaden Rundle when the rare raid is weak to Victoria. So that was kind of a question mark.
That is actually one. I don't think I even thought about that, but all right. And Elder, how about you?
Diamond coat. I agree kind of with Keto that it seems to be the unit attack resist or area attack resist is where they're going with things. Maybe throw in 2 but smaller resistances. And as far as the raid, light has been not very good to me in raids where they're supposed to be. So I kind of think Dark Slash is just going to keep trumping.
Okay. All right.
You're wrong about that.
And the last one, Global's new vision card, a card that I am not entirely convinced that JP will be getting next week because usually Summon Week and Alexander seems like a pretty good match for Jaden. So what do you guys think of this new Global vision card? Diggs, how about you?
Oh, I thought it was announced in JP. Nope. I didn't do JP news this week, but I thought they already had it or they were getting it this week. It's good. I mean, I'm gonna pull for it because I think it'll be good enough to use and niche enough in like a dark evasion compositions, especially with Ruin Stern EX.
Okay. By the way, just one thing to note real quick. I just looked it up. In the press release, that sounds so official. In the press release for this raid, it's a question mark what the big vision card is and what the small vision card is. So there's going to be 2 new vision cards, but not. I mean, one will be UR, and I'm guessing, small for an MR. I guess maybe it's kind of weird. But anyway, skipping back, Merlox, what do you think of this vision card?
I'm pretty much in agreement with Diggs. This card, it's going to be okay, but it's really going to shine with units such as like Ruin Stern. Once you can pair Ruin Stern with Shadowlinks and Venera, and of course, there is some other odd units such as like Kane, who has exceptionally high luck, who could also benefit from this. But it's just a great, like, every dark unit almost has like high dexterity or high luck. Like, it just gives them so much. And pretty much running that, even if you're not running a dark evasion, you're getting 35% accurate or 35% luck and dexterity, which is a massive accuracy bonus. So if you ever want to counter evasion, well, there you go. It's that card.
All right. And Keto, how about you?
Yeah, I'm really appreciative that Gumi is like releasing these EXs that were considered kind of less successful EXs on the JP side, but they're releasing them alongside I guess a global original VC that sort of powers them up, and I think that makes it a lot more fun and worth it for people who like that unit to EX them even if they're not considered really the best. I've been playing with that VC and Venera and Shadowlinks in Guild Battle Mock, and it's just been an absolute blast to sort of like see what you can do with it.
So you're having good results from it as well.
For sure.
Oh, all right. And Elder, how about you?
Looked like it had a great amount of utility. I instantly went and got it right after I got my 2 Helenas, and humble brag. I've been, instantly EX Venera. I was disappointed that I'm not going to be able to EX Shadowlinks anytime soon. Like everybody said, you can use it on so many different units, and the question or the thing wasn't asked was, Shadowlinks. I think it was really cool what they did with Shadowlinks, an MR character, getting her some pretty cool things.
Yeah, you guys even got it before we did, which is so strange for Global to be getting something first. But hey, I guess we finally get a preview. Maybe things are changing around now. Japan's version is going to get all of the adjusted stuff in the future. No, that's not happening.
That would be crazy.
You get to see the bonus that you don't get from the cards.
That's actually very sadly true. All right, and on that painful note, we'll move on to our next section. So, Thoughts. We're going to talk about just some stuff that's been happening on each of the versions. We have 3 versions this time. So, this week we had the producer letter, and obviously, we got a new side story with the new Ice Mage. But we're going to curve that a little bit just because spoilers for Globalers. But Jaden, the magic range light elemental character, the UR 100 cost unit that is getting mixed reactions, and I want to hear from each of you what you think of this character. But this time we're going to go from the bottom up. So ElderWolf, you get first crack at it.
I was hoping to cheat off other people's papers. I did not look into the letter, and I've looked into Jaden a little bit, but not a whole lot. I try not to look at JP stuff too much, not to be spoiled, and I don't go look at my neighbors and see what they're having for dinner, so and find out if I'm gonna have something good.
All right.
You want to go down?
That's cool. Are you interested in maybe getting him? Like,
I am, because I like the idea of a light gunner, and El Sorel, she's got gunning abilities, and I think it's pretty fun to use her, but she doesn't get full utility because it's her sub job. So I think that'll be fun.
All right. Good points. Ito, how about you? What do you think?
I think it's going to be similar to sort of Glaciella dress up, where everybody, as soon as they got her, said that like she wasn't like the best unit. It's kind of unfortunate that people are making these judgments when it's only been out for basically 4 days, I think. And people haven't really had the full time and opportunity to actually play with the unit and get used to it. I think Jaden Rundle is a really unique unit. I think you can get up to like range 8 abilities, I think, with his self buff and concentration. So there's just so much you can play with. And we already actually kind of like see that, right? I remember somebody was talking about like, so people who are complaining about him, have you guys EX'd him and have you guys played with him in mock? And like it got downvoted like crazy. So it kind of just
what
goes to
YouTube
show
video
that.
was this that you were posting on?
Oh, sorry. Oh, it was actually
A
it was
Reddit
a
post?
forum. It's a JP forum,
Mm.
but yeah, that was kind of interesting. I think it's just kind of like wait and see how it works because already people's opinions are starting to kind of lift a little bit. Sorry for going a little bit over, but I think the problem is everybody kind of compares 100 cost units to Black Rose Helena and King Mont, which are considered like absurdly strong units. And I think it's great that we're having more a little bit scaled back. I don't even want to say scaled back, but I guess balanced or more niche units, because it really opens up the playability of each unit, I think. And I think that's a wonderful thing. So just sort of a wait and see approach.
No, those are good points, Guido, and I'm very thank you very much for sharing them because you are another you play the Japanese side, so that's a good insight, and also more on the forums too, which is a bit of a blind spot for me. But next up, Merlox, what do you think?
All right. First of all, I absolutely love it that he is a balanced unit. Now, for my downsides, he sucks. I mean, how could you give a guy a chain gun and only give him chain 3? Lucia only has 2 flintlock pistols and she goes to chain 4 on some really crappy abilities. Like, you tease us with a chain gun and you don't give like he doesn't have any type of chaining abilities.
The gun he gets is a pea shooter too.
No, what the hell? Like, I'm sorry, you can't just tease us with a giant chain gun and just not give us anything out of it. So that's me.
All right, so blue gunned as it turns out on the chaining abilities. And Diggs, how about you?
Yeah, I think a VC is going to come out that's going to make them super powerful, and people don't realize that, and then they're all going to change their tune next week.
All right. And so next thing on the JP side, we are getting the Dark Selection quest. And the big question always, who's the unit going to be that we're getting for free this time? So I want to actually hear from Keto first this time. Who do you think?
I think my guess would be Dia, who's the samurai from Ovis. I think she's probably going to be it. I think in one of the quests that features her, she is labeled as a dark unit, if I remember correctly. And she shows up in the first arc, and she also shows up later on, so I think it'd be a perfect fit for her.
About time, maybe. How about you, Merlox?
Yours is no, I'm not gonna say yours is on. It's probably gonna be that one. There's like a few characters. There's that one Chaos guy. Remember when Shetzel gets locked up in the jail cell and he's just kind of there, just being like, "I'm a thief. I can just go through like all these doors," and you're like, "Who the hell's this dude?" Maybe him. I always think like thieves are dark. I mean, yeah, why not?
Okay, all right. And Elder, how about you?
I'm not really good at paying attention to the side characters. So that samurai chick sounds cool.
He has been in the game forever, so it feels like it's about time. I mean, Moraga's been in the game forever, and he was a selection quest.
There you go.
So, how about you, Diggs? Hot takes?
I think Dia is a good guess. I think, she's definitely main enough character tier. The only other option would be the samurai girl's husband or boyfriend or the dude that runs with her that was just in the last story. I don't know his name.
Yeah, I don't know his name either, but I remember who you're talking about roughly.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I'll be the spicy one and say Veritas of the Dark is the obvious answer. All right.
That's never gonna happen. That is never gonna happen.
I said spicy. I never said it was accurate. That's not why I'm here.
I bet you before we get Veritas of the Dark, we would get
Yours is on.
No. I think we would get God, I can't remember his name, but Rain's dad, who is Veritas of the Dark, right? But we would probably get him first.
Oh, Reagan,
yes.
Could be. All right. And last on the Japanese side, the thing I really want to talk about is the EX characters for the month. Glassy, Reviz, Victora, Shadow Lynx has already been revealed, Raryu, and Kreis. Which ones are you excited for? Go with Akkeito again on this one first.
I think my most excited one is Reviz. Ravies. She's one of my favorite units in Wotiv. I think I like her story. The Farplane story we had that featured her was really interesting. So I'm most excited for her, especially since with the Shadow. I think the Shadow Lynx EX was such a huge hit, and I'm hoping that they follow that trend with MR EXs. So that's the unit I'm most excited for. I'm really curious as to what they will do with Glaciella and Victoria, because I feel like so far Gumi's track records with Lancer unit EXs has been kind of awkward. So I want to see if they can hit the mark with that.
Okay. How about you, ElderWolf?
Yeah, Reviz, definitely. Same thing. I want to see what they do with the MR units. Like he said, Shadow Lynx is pretty good. Kreis, or Kreis, or however you say it. I like gunners. I like ranged units, mostly bow users, but I'm excited to see what she has. And then Victoria, I couldn't pull for Victoria, and I regretted it. Nobody else was really going to go for her. I saw a bunch of people using her. And so I'd like to have that new life in her and actually get to play with her.
All right. Merlox, how about you?
So, as everyone, MR units are going to be really cool, especially, it'd suck if they made Shadow Lynx really cool and then made like the other like 3 MR units really lame after that. But I do think there's some really cool EX possibilities with Victoria. I don't think they're going to copy as they did with Christmas Mastery with horizontal jump, making it into homing jump. Instead, they're probably going to be buffing another move instead, such as like Dragon Dive, which would be something amazing if they made it into a bigger AoE, or if they did, maybe gave it Frostbite. There's a lot of possible things that could make this unit into a really scary unit, or they could just botch it like Eldoa or something. That's just how EXs go. With Glacy, well, anything they do with Glacy, there's going to be a fan base following that one.
That is true. And Diggs, how about you?
Yeah, I'm all about Victoria. Victoria is going to be amazing no matter what. I will find a way to use it. She's my girl. I think, whether it's her charm LB, you could literally add anything to it and she'll be great, right? Because she's going to get base stat increases as well. Kind of same with Glaciella. Like the base stat increases are just going to make her disgusting. So I'm excited to use her and wreck people with her.
Excellent.
All about that charm.
It is.
I will be giving those reviews very quickly and pretty because I actually have 400 of the Mind Spheres for both of them, so I am ready.
Let's go.
For URs. What's an investment on an MR unit? Not entirely sure. All right. So we're going to switch over to our next topic of Interthoughts, which is global version. And I figured something I wanted to get some opinions on is that the FF1 and Warrior of Light event is coming so very soon. Is there reason to be hype? Are you going to be going for I said MR Shield, but it's supposed to be an MR Sword, so that's whoops, that's my blame me doing this at like midnight last night watching.
Get a buff.
I'm waiting for that shield.
So do you guys think this is worth the resources, the time, the effort? I think that globalers might be a little burnt out lately after so much stuff came so fast. And now with FF1, is it worth it? So I'm going to start with Diggs on this one.
Yeah, totally worth it. I think he's going to be amazing. can't wait to pull for him. I think whenever you get OG Final Fantasy involved, people are going to lose their shit in so many different ways and spend lots of money. And I think about like right now in my guild battle composition, I've been utilizing a tank with Black Rose Helena and Yuna, or with Luel. And I'm just going to swap in Warrior of Light, and he's going to do amazing things for me. And he's going to wreck Titus, is what's going to happen, is Titus is going to get murdered.
Excellent. Merlox, how about you?
I'm actually super excited for him. Like, I know he's not as rated as high as King Mont. However, I do think he's way more of a defensive character, and sometimes you just need a more defensive character in general. Also, I think the MR sword is just going to get way more useful later on, especially when Cecil gets his UR, Bramza gets his UR. There's a lot of light-based sword characters that could use that sword. Like, there's a lot of light-based sword users.
Bramza's never getting his EX.
We'll see about that hot take, but Keto, how about you? What do you think?
Regarding the sword, I agree with Merlot. I think that it's going to be hard to really. I feel like for the foreseeable future, that sword is going to be the best sword for light unit sword users. So I think that that sword is worth farming. In regards to Warrior of Light, Merlot also kind of talked about this, but he really just doesn't see that much play. So I think I will personally be skipping his EX, but I'm always kind of a believer in EX the characters that you like. So I would still recommend EXing him if you like him.
Especially if you don't
I think
have King Mont.
Yeah, that's it,
Yep.
especially.
Yep.
Although I guess as a counter to that, there is also like Charlotte and other tanks, but
That's
but
true. I mean, you have to consider Charlotte's coming out soon as well.
Yeah. I think the big one for me though is the Death Machine VC rerun. I actually didn't get that VC or didn't work on it back when it was released, so having a rerun of that would be amazing because there's been so many times when I was creating compositions that I really wanted an attack-based area resistance VC that I didn't have. So I think that would be what I'm most excited for.
Yeah, that is a big thing, that summon as well. And Elder, how about you?
Warrior of Light was the first unit that almost made me quit. I'm pretty sure that my last pull, I said, this is it. I've spent way too much money. I'm done. I clicked. I got him. So I'm still here. We've got a lot of piercing units out there, so I'm scared for him. He's done a lot of good job for me, but I'm really excited about that sword, and definitely for my Cecil, because Final Fantasy IV is my favorite. Cecil is my favorite character, and I am going to make Cecil work. Something. I can't wait for his EX. So
nice.
He's going to become a tank. No.
I love the commitment to a character. That is always great. But I would like to bring up something that I don't know if anyone in the community has said. So next week is basically the start of E3, right? And there's been long circulating rumors for about the last month. Well, I guess that's long enough in terms of the internet's history. But there's long rumors that Ninja Theory is currently collaborating with Square Enix on a Final Fantasy I World Dark Souls-like game. So imagine, if you will, since Square Enix is having a press conference in roughly about 2 weeks, about a week and a half's time, they announced this FF1 event coming back to global at the same time that this brand new Ninja Theory Dark Souls FF1 game is announced.
We could get like a collaborative like VC card or something. I don't know, like when Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles came out.
Yeah, I mean
It would be nice if we got Crystal Chronicle VCs back.
Well, JP just got them back, so I think they're on the docket for global too in about 3 months.
1 year later.
Mm-hmm.
FF1, the timing works surprisingly well for the E3 that it's coming back about the exact same time.
I like your conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I like it too.
I think it's gonna happen.
It's better than Tomb Raider.
Yep. Lord, oh man, they're gonna announce What If Tomb Raider there. They're gonna announce a really cool Dark Souls Final Fantasy 1. And then they're gonna be like, and check out What If with Tomb Raider. Fucking nail in the coffin.
Oh my
What the
God.
game.
I think that came out way too early, and it's not going to be till the end of the year.
Adventure Warrior of Light special version for global only. Yours for 6 easy payments of $1,000 each. Okay, I like it.
I would actually probably buy that.
She would dig
just for the bragging rights, I would probably buy that.
Oh my God. All right. So, all right, let's I think we've talked about global. Now, the spicy moment of we're going to be talking about, for the first time, thoughts on the Chinese version, a new sister version to the Japanese and the global version, which is weird that the global version doesn't just include Japan and China, but I guess that's not part of the globe now. Salt aside. Anyway, so what we know is that there's some bonuses that version is getting, and there's a bit of censorship going on. And we have an expert here today, Merlox. So you are going to be leading the chat on this one while I bring up the images that you have kindly shared with us.
All right. I guess at this point I should just look at the images that I sent you so we can follow along. Or else I'll be pretty bad. Oh yeah. So what you have right now, of course, that's censored Solir. That's what everyone was raging about. They didn't care about all those. But so pretty much they have an absurd amount of changes in that game. The first one that we're seeing is Yerma. Wow, you're going through these pretty fast, buddy.
It's on a slideshow, so just
it's on a slideshow. Okay, yeah, okay. So, all right. So there's a lot of different bonuses and a lot of new mechanics in the Chinese version. A lot of people are first, as soon as we show it, there is it's like, oh no, there's censorship. And yes, there is censorship in that game. Some of it looks good, some of it looks pretty meh, I will believe. But they do have a lot of cool mechanics. They have, instead of the Royal Rank system, we all know that Dr. Diggs bought the 50,000 Viz Royal Rank 12 package, right, Dr. Diggs?
Yep, sure did.
Instead of that whole system, they have a battle pass system that we're currently that I'm seeing, but it's probably going to pass.
I changed it. It's a little slower now.
Okay. So yeah, no, they have a battle pass system. You can get, I think, up to, it's either 200 or 400 shards. I didn't check all the way, of 2 different characters on that banner, which is pretty interesting. They have, to encourage people to keep playing and keep active, they have an hourly check-in. So once you do like a mission or so, and every hour you can come back, and there's an icon where you can check in, and you're just going to get 50 Viz, 10 prisms of a random, and 10 other consumables of a random, which is pretty cool on my on that part. There's a guild, there's an improved guild system where pretty much you can, instead of just gifting, kind of like how friend medals was, where it was just like, hey, I'm just going to give 5 friend medals and whatnot, or sorry, guild medals. Instead, you can either choose to give certain materials, Visior, still guild medals, and every day everybody has up to 50 choices of what they want within the guild. Everyone can contribute up to 5. There's gonna be 150 of them in a pool, and every day you just go through like, okay, I want Viz today. Just click all the Viz, or if you want materials, you can click materials. Did we drop?
We dropped a little bit of frame. Sorry.
Yeah, I think the stream crashed.
It didn't crash. It just.
Oh no, it's back.
It's lost some frames. I'm sorry.
Guys. But yeah. So the dead. So yeah. No, there's they do have a few other deals. There's like some cool little lotto deals. There is flash deals. So basically, as soon as you start playing the first mission, you'll get like a 12-hour deal, which is like a 1-2. It's randomized. There's characters of the day. I don't know. There's a lot of cool deals, and as you can see on character screens, the UI has been totally redone. There there's just a lot to the Chinese version. I can't really explain all in like this short time. I don't want to keep on going, but it feels like a much more modernized game. It feels like would have, but with like a lot of Genshin Impact like type of like UI implements or like bonus systems, which is a little weird to say.
Interesting. All right. So now, thank you, Merlox. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know it's not easy, and when you're playing a different language version, and there just isn't that much any knowledge out there. It feels like yet. So this is thank you so much.
Yeah, no, and I just have to say, if it wasn't for one of my viewers that came in and was like, "Hey, I know you're talking about that," because I only found a few images before, and I was like, "Hey, look at these images! Look at all these censored characters! Like, what's going on?" And then, like, he's like, "Oh, hey, I found the APK and I can get you in," and I was like, "Get me in!" So yeah,
That might be something I actually try this week, is try streaming the Chinese version if I can get it going. But let's get some
closed
thoughts.
beta is gonna be starting up shortly. Closed beta 3. And this is beta, by the way. Oh, by the way, one other thing I did want to say is that game is optimized beautifully. I did not have a single crash. I was running at 140 frames constantly. There was no issues. I was staggered by how well that game ran.
All right. So let's get some thoughts about this Chinese version. So, Diggs, what do you think?
I think it's going to be what it's going to be. In terms of the censorship, it doesn't bother me too much. In terms of, I think what probably bothers me the most out of all of this is just the idea that, the game is so much better optimized. It's such a better experience for their players. They're beta testing it. And I just kind of wish that Square Enix could be like, oh, yeah, maybe we should do something like that for our global release, right? Because if China stands to make so much money by optimizing first with War of the Visions, like they're doing betas, think about how much they've had to fix, right? On the game and on the code and on the overlays. I don't know. I wish that they would maybe learn a lesson from this Chinese development studio.
Yeah. Or at least copy it.
Yeah.
But Keto, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's definitely interesting. I'm not too much of a computer person, so I can't say much on in terms of like optimization. But I think one thing to note that Chinese, I actually wrote a paper on gacha laws internationally, and China is one of the most, I guess, strict when it comes to games that feature, I guess, loot boxes or basically gacha. And so it's kind of interesting to see that I'm kind of curious as to how China kind of does the loot box system. I think if I remember correctly, in China you can only pull like a certain number of loot boxes or gacha, and then you're just limited from doing any more for the day, I think, or maybe it was even more than a day. So it's going to be interesting to see how it does in terms of performance, financial performance.
So they let your regret sink in for like a whole day before you pull more.
So I think they made it so that there's a mandatory pity on everything, if I remember correctly. I can't say for sure though, but I think that's what they did in China. I guess in terms of censorship, so I was doing a little bit of Googling, and this is just translated from Chinese to English, so I don't know if it's the exact terms, but China has a law that prohibits sexual explicitness. And I was kind of curious as to, obviously sexual explicitness has such a wide variety in terms of definition. And it's interesting because there's a pretty popular game called Azure Lane. I think people have seen that a lot, and it's a very sexually expressive game, I think, in terms of my opinion. But it turns out that that's developed by a Chinese company, and it turns out that on the Chinese server, a lot of the characters in that game are actually banned. So it's definitely, yeah. So I thought that was really interesting. I think like very recently, I think like a bunch of characters got like deleted from the game or something like that. Because yeah, so I thought that was kind of crazy. And it kind of shows that how careful, right, you have to be in terms of censorship and making sure that your game isn't too sexual. So I thought that was really interesting. I think that they're playing it pretty smart with what they're doing in What If.
That's thank you.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of experts here today that I am just absolutely enthralled by hearing these conversations. Elder
ElderWolf is the biggest one.
He's
All
the
right.
dad expert.
Elder, how about you? What do you think?
All right. Well, let me ask first. Who is developing the game? Because I heard you guys say like a Chinese studio.
It's in a Chinese name.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, it's not Gummy. It's not who's been doing
No,
it.
no,
right?
it's not Gummy.
No, it's not. Yeah.
One thing I
So-
did forget to say, sorry, was that most of the time in the Chinese, in these Chinese games, most of the times companies that are outside of China, they will sell the assets to a Chinese developer, and the Chinese developers can use the assets however they want. It's the same way with World of the Tank series. It's the same way with a few other online games, but it's pretty much the same thing with this. So sorry about that. You can continue.
No problem. So I'm a computer programmer. So that's where my expertise lies. So I'm going to talk about optimization just a little bit. And go back to a little bit about crashes with global and the Android fiasco that I think a lot of people have forgotten about because they just played emulator during that time. So I did some heavy digging testing trying to stop crashes because I had to stop playing on my phone, my great flagship phone, play on an older device, and it pissed me off, and we never got compensated. But my theory was why we had so many crashes in the Android was there was some updates, some library that they used, and they just weren't willing to rewrite that piece or anything else. So looking into everything, I see they use Unity. So my best guess is there's a Unity libraries. It's a Unity game, and so they've got some older code. If the Japanese game was like 6 months behind us, it was 6 months before a global release, then maybe we would have a different version of the game that worked better. But I think that they had kind of they didn't really encounter the Android issue in Japan. They got ahead of it because, Unity library is updated. They've updated everything for the game. They're good to go. They never experienced that because they weren't on these older versions of Android with these older versions of Unity. So when we experienced it, we just had to wait it out. And I kind of think just talking about how it works better on the Chinese, if you were going to go release this game to another country or anything else, you'd want to rewrite a lot of the pieces of it using better framework or the newer versions of the frameworks and non-deprecated pieces. And I think that's if it was the same company, I would say that was definitely the reason. But since it's a different company, they're obviously going to have their own way of doing things.
Yeah.
ElderWolf, just to answer your question, apparently the Chinese company in charge of World Divisions China is called CSUN Incorporated.
Okay, I haven't heard of them. And just on censorship, I like to learn a lot about cultures. I found it interesting back in WoW. I think it was WoW that they had to censor skeletons and learned that in China, skeletons are taboo. It's not an outright, we got to ban everything with skeletons. It's just taboo. You don't show skeletons. I'm curious if skeletons will be in here. I probably is because it's more known what's acceptable and what's not. And that's going to happen anytime you see a lot of Japanese games that are censored in the West. And it's just going to happen. So there's nothing really upsetting about it.
All right. Wow, how to follow up all that great information that I just got. I'm actually fine a little bit more with the censorship because I've been finding Wotive a little bit too risky in a lot of the design. But it's not even that; it's the polarizing between men and women's design in this game. And just out of curiosity, I showed, there was one day where I went through all the characters with my girlfriend who's Japanese, And I showed her, and she was like, "Wow, they're very clearly doing something with women that they are not doing with men. Like, if you want, just go through the characters and count how many thighs you see for women and count how many thighs you see for men, and it's a staggering difference in terms of.
There's only one. There is only one, and it's Tyrell.
Tyrell, our
And
savior.
he's wearing a diaper.
He's wearing a diaper.
It literally, like, if you look at Tyrell, he looks like he was designed to be a female character.
Might have been.
Yeah.
I guess the thing that really bugs me the most isn't necessarily optimization, because I don't know. It's just one of those things where this Frankenstein of a code trying to split between a global and a Japanese version that are both doing their own things at this point is just so messy that I don't have the experience to say. But in terms of just the more updated, in terms of UI, the cleaner UI, the better design and everything, I find it so sad that essentially the flagship version, which is the Japanese version, and even the global version, has just been like sold off the assets, and someone did it better by a considerable margin in terms of being more updated and competitive against other games of the same nature. And it's just like, how has no one commented really about this at this point, that we have just such inferior versions and we're getting these quality of lives constantly that just don't make that big of a difference compared to this?
Does anybody know much about the Alchemist game that this is like based off of?
Tag the Alchemist Code, I think, or something. The Alchemist skill.
Yeah, it's the Alchemist Code.
I don't think that.
But I don't know much about it. I just know it's the same thing, pretty much.
Yes. A lot of it is copied from the code from that game over here, and some of the ideas from Brave Exvius, which is
like they literally took the equations from the Alchemist Code and implemented them into War of the Visions. So
Makes sense.
Well, we're going to have to, I think we'll have more conversations in the future about the Chinese version, but a good amount of stuff. So I want to thank Merlox for getting all the screenshots and, of course, the information, and Akkeito for providing us with some information about how everything goes, and ElderWolf too. So thank you guys. Thanks everyone for chatting in on this conversation. Diggs, you talked about it too, right? Or anything?
yeah, I'm not an expert.
Okay, just I wasn't. The conversation went on so long that I actually forgot if everyone had a chance to talk about it.
What's your opinion?
I can't remember what I said.
Optimization.
Optimization. That was it. Please optimize the game.
Okay.
Please.
All right. So now let's move on to the next section, which is, of course, our Coliseum section. This time, the Coliseum of Perfection. And this time, I decided to give our guests a little bit more of a challenge than usual. So they have to choose the perfect team of 3 URs. And this is the thing. Equipment doesn't count. Espers don't count. No 100 cost units. No cheating on your test, kids. And last but not least, it must work in both auto and manual. So this is a real challenge. What do you guys value in terms of your URs? What makes a good auto team? What makes a good manual team? And especially when you don't have the crutch of just being like, well, this piece of equipment and this Esper, sorry, there is no Odin. So what do you guys think? Who should we go with first on this? I think Diggs, we got to go with you first.
Yeah, Diggs knows everything.
Oh man, I am. So my first thought is always whenever I'm thinking of manual or auto. Sorry, I just saw you talking. I was looking at the wrong screen. My first thought is always Victoria. So get my girl Victoria in there. Because she has charm, she's able to jump. People are never expecting her. Next thing I think about is some type of quicken. So Phoebe would probably be amazing, but it's UR only. So maybe we'll put Skull in. So we'll throw a Skull in there for some quicken. And probably for a final unit, I would say Sarab. With just, actually, no, hold on. We're just gonna go for the whole shebang here. We're gonna go Ruinstern, Ildira,
That's 100.
King Rob. Oh, what? Okay, Ruinstern. No, hold on. King Rob, Ildira. I don't know, something else that can kill people, and we'll just go for Keen Edge and Ildira LP.
Rob, so one more
Can't use
time.
equipment.
Rob, Ildira.
So Rob, Ildira, Rob with his own TMR on, maxed out, and then
No equipment, man.
oh man. Okay.
Hey,
This is hard. Okay, little Leela, Ildira, and another mage. Who's another really strong mage? Medina. Let's do that. Leela, Ildira, Medina.
all right. We got him. We got
There
him,
we
chap.
go.
We got him
There
on
we go.
equipment. I made this. I think some people, when they first heard this, they were like, okay, all right. That's an interesting challenge to make. But yeah, well, as soon as you throw out equipment, people are like, wait, what? How does this work? Okay, all right.
It's
Merlox,
hard.
your
Um,
turn.
All right. So if I was going to do that, I'd think similarly a mage team because melee characters without bells, that's a little risky. So honestly, I'm thinking a mage team. So if we're thinking about EXs as well, I'm thinking of this. You're going to bring Yuna. Let's be honest. Yuna should have been 100 cost, but she ain't 100 cost, and she's stupid good. Throw
That's
that
not
on.
fair. That's not fair.
That is.
Not only that, Garvel pairs extremely well in auto and then also in manual PvP. Like if you ever run into some like evasion comps, well, guess what? They're all dead anyways. After that, you could throw in like the third one's a little bit of a challenge. If you if you want to use like quicken teams, right? Like obviously, I think Miranda's like a really good choice just for that.
Miranda.
Yeah,
What are you
she has
smoking?
quicken. She has quicken, and she has jamming thrust. Don't doubt the jamming thrust. Or I mean, if you don't want quicken, I would throw in rain. So honestly, if you want my 3 units, Yuna, Rain, and good old Garvel.
All
3 in
right.
there.
There you go. And next up, Akkeito, what is your team?
So I took a different approach actually, and the team I came up with was Auron, Agrius, and I'm not sure if this is cheating because he's only available in JP, but Velric.
Yo,
For
fucking
those who
cheating.
don't know, oh, is that cheating?
Wow.
What? Wait,
What?
hold on. What? No, it's
Uh,
not cheating. Any available unit is.
All right,
Not
technically we're
available.
okay then. Yeah, so the reason I chose those, so I guess the prompt was it's a team that can beat any other team. And so the first thing that came to my mind was Agrius because she has multiple different types of status afflictions. So she has access to confusion, stun, stop, disable, and silence, I think. Or
Mhm.
was it blind? One of those two. But so that theoretically means that she can land basically a match deciding status ailment on basically any unit that's against her. And so from there, I decided to go with Auron because Auron has access to both 100% guaranteed hits to hit evade units as well as a barrier break. And he also has 2 different attack type styles. So he can do very well as a sub DPS because he also has defense penetration. And I think what really makes this team work is Velric because he has one of the highest attack stats in the game. And with his, he also has a lot of defense penetration. And just like Auron, he has Pugilist sub. So it's really hard to sort of wall him with just slash attack resistance. And so that's why I think those 3 units work well together. The other thing is these 2, Auron and Velric have really good TP AoE buffs. So you can actually probably manipulate in auto for them to buff each other up and sort of build enough AP to actually use their skills. And manual, kind of same reason. So that's my team.
Wow. That's a very well. Someone did their homework. We're going to have to give you a gold star for that one. All right, fantastically done. And oh no,
What
I'm
happens when
making the
low
others
characters
angry.
die?
All right, ElderWolf, let's hear your team.
Apparently, I'm just going to fail now. So, I try to think of something that's going to give you some, things aren't going with no equipment. You're not going to have all these other bonuses. So, put Cecil on there. Of course, I love Cecil, but Cecil has a lot of utility, I think, but it just never is enough. So hopefully, some of those protections he can throw out will help. He does consume his own HP to do that for that physical damage barrier. And so throw Sakura and Yuna in there. Mages are going to have their AP. They don't need bells. There's some 100% guaranteed hits on both of those sides. They're going to be able to heal, of course, and get off magic attacks. I'm curious just how much damage and healing Yuna is going to be able to do with no equipment. Probably still stupid amounts, but
It's Yuna. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, it may not be 20,000. Now it's going to be 18,000. But
oh no.
Try to be diverse a little bit, and of course, chaining is going to be very valuable if you don't have equipment to boost your stats.
Okay, so Cecil. Sorry, I missed a couple of them. Cecil,
Yuna, and Sakura.
Both, I think, are totally fine. All right, so the question is of to who wins will not be decided by me, but will actually be decided by a poll in chat. So just going to put that in real quick, and we're going to...
I just want to say, chat, I've always appreciated all of you, and every single one of you are really important to me. And so I know you're going to vote for me.
One other thing I'm going to add in is that Keto should lose right away because he's not throwing in Eileen. What's up with that?
Oh no!
Wow!
I've been caught.
But the church is going to be so sad for I don't know.
I think I've already been excommunicated from that.
Oh yeah, you're done. Just like how you put
So you ratted me out with the
What was Diggs' team again?
So I changed it now.
Diggs was,
like
I have it written down. Ildira, Leela, and Medina.
So you see, I put Cecil in there, the one I love, and Diggs started out with Victoria and then threw her to the wolves immediately once he figured out, I might be able to actually do something with this.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, I think like my new waifu now has been Luelle. So I probably should have done something with Luelle.
Books are hot.
Oh yeah, we totally forgot about Luelle.
Yeah, I like that.
Luelle's my girl.
I like that.
Eileen.
No one chose any FF7 units, which was one of the things I was kind of afraid of going in today, of just being like, well, I mean, you never said Japanese version was off, so it's just going to be like, well, everyone's picking Cloud, and it's just like...
3 clouds. Didn't say anything about using them twice. 3 clouds.
That's true. I didn't say anything about that, but
PS5 only. 3 DLC.
All right, so we'll let that poll run in chat for a little while, and we're going to move on to the main topic. And actually, this is one that I struggled with for a good amount of time for the last 2 weeks, trying to decide the show, of being like, what the hell am I supposed to talk with these wonderful guys about? And one of the thing that I came up with, totally not last minute, last night, trying to figure out what we were supposed to do. The Dream collaboration is our main topic for today. Something that I think every person who has ever played a gacha game has always thought about, and just a fun topic. And the second part is what makes a good collaboration. We're going to talk about it in a minute, but the Dream collaboration, what is your guys's ultimate collaboration you want to see? There's almost nothing that's off the table. Try and keep it at least stream friendly. But I think I'm going to give this one to ElderWolf first. Hey, so, go ahead.
Oh, here we go. Let's take ourselves off mute. All right. So I've thought about this a couple of times, put it in my streams too. But 35th anniversary of Zelda's there. Zelda's my favorite game. First thing I can remember playing that wasn't Atari. I think Zelda Collab would be purely awesome. Never going to happen, but I mean, imagine having Link and Zelda, and having Zelda as the ultimate bow meta with her silver bow. There's so many things you could do with her. She's been all kinds of things. She could have a ninja sub. Maybe we even have just Sheik over to the side. Who knows? But I think what makes a good collab is something that you love. Final Fantasy IV, when it came out, I was all gung ho. So Zelda, I really like it. Yeah, I think with Link, you could have a lot of interesting things as well. Another slash unit. You could have be water light. Zelda is obviously going to be light. And then you could have a third. You have so many things you could choose from for the third person that I think it would just be a really awesome collab to be in there. That's what I got to say.
Okay, but we have to ask, which Legend of Zelda are you collaborating with? You did not specify so much. You said Sheik, but I have to know, is this Breath of the Wild where Link's sword is going to break every 2 turns?
I threw the game out of the window. No. It would be more like, Link to the Past and around that era.
Oh, more retro style. I can get behind it. I love those games. I played more Link to the Past than PS5 like recently this week. But all right, great answer. Akkeito, you are next. What is your dream collaboration? Let's hear it.
So I came less prepared for this question, actually. I don't have much experience with collaborations, but I guess in terms of like what my dream collaboration would look like, because I don't really have a specific game in mind, is just sort of building on what the collaborations they do in Wotive. I feel like a lot of the collaborations feel very lacking. I feel like so for example, I haven't played Final Fantasy IV, or I haven't played Final Fantasy X. I haven't played Near Automata.
You're hurting me.
Like,
you're hurting me.
I'm sorry. So it's been, and so like when these collaborations come, I feel like I don't really get to know about the game too much. I think it's really nice that they do like a little bit of the world building in terms of like having special stages and stuff. But I think just being able to maybe make a story around connecting the characters with the collaboration units actually would be really fun. I do like the Trials of Reckoning because you get to learn about some of the bosses. Like I love the Demon Wall and the Golbez fight, for example, in the FF4 Trials of Reckoning. But if they could sort of build a little bit more onto that, so like I actually learn more about that collaboration game, I think that would be wonderful. The other thing that I like about the Wotive collaborations is they keep the art style of the collaboration units in the style of War of the Visions, and I really love the War of the Visions illustrations. So I hope they continue to do that.
You just like big thighs from Eileen.
Yeah, I won't disagree with that, but I like more than that.
All right. Well, good points. Merlox, you go for it. Hey, okay. Your turn.
So yeah, no, I have like top 3, and I'm not gonna just talk about all 3, but like the top 2 that would almost get up there is like, one is Final Fantasy VI. You have Terra and all of those great characters, like a good story built around all of them. That would make an amazing collab. That's probably going to come eventually. There is Xenogears, Fei Long, like you got a lot of good characters from there as well. Really cool. But I do think the one collab that I would love to see the most is Octopath Traveler. You have so many really memorable characters, and it was really done well. And you also have the same voice actor as Zazan playing as Ulberich. I'm just saying, having having the same voice actor come back again as Ulberich, and I don't know, all the characters really badass in there. And it's available right now, so everyone can just play Octopath Traveler. And there's a gacha game of that coming out hopefully for global pretty soon.
All right, so
kind of reminds me of the Lego game had Chris Pratt as many different characters, so he has arguments with himself.
Yeah. All right. So Octopath, that would be a good one. I think there's quite a few Octopath fans out there. Still waiting for some news on Project Triangle Theory. Get moving on that one.
We need that.
All right, Diggs, your turn.
Yeah. I, unfortunately am losing the poll right now. And I know Gummy's listening and they are going to do whatever I say. So I'm really excited for a Tomb Raider collaboration, and I hope it goes for 6 weeks long. And that's the collaboration I really want. And this is chat's fault. But on a more serious note, I would actually like something unique. I could do like a Star Trek collaboration or a Pokemon collaboration. Something that brings monsters into the game would be cool. We could go Digimon. That would be unique and exciting. Something like that.
Nice.
I don't know why you guys are making faces about Pokemon and Digimon. That would be a legit collaboration.
We need Pikachu.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pikachu as Nesper would be great.
Just Pikachu. What would it be? Balloon Pikachu or surfing Pikachu?
Oh, summer VC surfing Pikachu.
Yeah, there we go.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that just be Alohan Raichu? But I agree that there needs to be some like non-human characters, and the only place we've gotten that from so far is a collaboration. The near units.
I would say something with dragons would be cool too.
Like Draken, what was it? Drakengard 3?
No, not Drakengard 3. Like a real dragon game. Like Dark Souls, dragons from Dark Souls. Or like a collaboration with Final Fantasy 14 dragons would be really cool.
Oh, I got the perfect collaboration for you. It's a game that no one's heard of in many years because most people have forgotten about it.
Oh, I got it. Before you say it, Bahamut's Lagoon.
No, that wasn't the one I was going to say. I was going to say
Legend of Dragoon.
Layer for the PlayStation 3 with the motion controls. We can get motion controls in Wotive finally.
No, not motion controls. Anything but motion controls.
You're gonna actually have to like.
I did pull her. Oh wait, that's pulling her again.
That's good. But if I was to say collaboration, I'm going to say the collaboration, the forbidden one, Persona 5, because it's just it really
trash game.
It is one of the best RPGs out there. Period.
Trash game.
Diggs has opinions here, but as the host of the show, I'm allowed to veto anything that's ever said. So yeah, I mean, it's just, to me, it seems like such a no-brainer. I mean, like the Dragon Quests, you have Dragon Quest, of course, which I think is inevitably going to happen. The real question I have is whether or not Dragon Quest, when it does come to the game, is going to be like Brave Exvius when it did Dragon Quest. It didn't do the characters. It did the monsters long before it ended up doing the characters, which could happen for us. I mean, they seem adverse to it for whatever reason. There's so many different collaborations out there, and of course it's always just the legal issues. I mean, I think the most requested thing ever will always be Chrono Trigger because it's just an almost impossibility. And are we going to see Soul Eater? We've seen in the past with Brave Exvius. We also saw what was it? Full Metal Alchemist was another.
I wonder if we're going to see them partner with more like indie companies. Like I would love to see like a partner with the new Hollow Knight game coming out, because they did like the lo-fi Final Fantasy. So I'm wondering if we're going to see some more like indie collaborations.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I know it gets memed quite a lot on Wotive, but how's the Katy Perry and the other person? Was that not well received in FFB? I didn't play FFB, so I don't know.
It was joked about, but a lot of people ended up doing the event anyway because it was content in the game. I mean, it was kind of a joke for I mean, amongst most players, and I don't think it brought a ton of resources to the game. Like, I'm pretty sure Cloud or Renoa banner would do much better than that.
I think the Katy Perry was a no-go, but what was the other one who was amazing?
Ariana Grande or whatever.
Oh man, I loved Ariana Grande. I would go in for an Ariana Grande collaboration.
Lady Gaga and meat suit collab item.
There's your hate generation right there. The meat suit, just all the monsters want to go right after her. Ultimate tank. But in all seriousness about the actual discussion, here's the question: what can we do? Because FF7 has come out now, and it's basically over on the JP side, and we can say there was no crossover story. There was barely any music. There were like 3 total unique stages, essentially 4 character put in the game, 2 vision cards, 1 summon, and about, I want to say about 5 enemies total. And this was announced during the half-year anniversary 1 year ago. So is this what collaborations are going to be like forever on Wotive? And how do we suggest improvements given what their current workload looks to be? Like, this theoretical is not just, well, just do more stuff. I actually want you guys to think, when you answer this, like, how do you do this kind of stuff while keeping workload relatively low? So let's start with, God, I really want Elder because he knows more about programming, but maybe he needs some time to think about it. So, Akkeito, I want you to talk first because you, I assume, played a fair bit of the FF7 event.
Yeah, okay, so I just want to get a little bit of a misconception out of there. So I'm actually primarily a global player, and I do have a JP account, but I don't play on it as much. That being said, yeah, the FF7R collaboration was really just kind of disappointing, I think, for a lot of people. Especially if you have like I don't see how FF7R collaboration sort of brings in new players into War of Divisions, or like players that will stay with War of Divisions. And I think that if you want to use collaborations, you should create them with the intent of having new players come in because of the collaboration and sticking. And I think the best way to do that is just to really build the connection between the characters of War Divisions and the collaborations. And so I'm not sure how expensive it is for, I guess, story writing. But we've seen financially, War Divisions has been doing really, really well. And so FF7R brought in so much money for War Divisions, and I feel like they could maybe hire a story writer or just kind of work on the story a bit more. Because War Divisions does have, yeah, it's actually up for a debate, but I think generally War Divisions, especially like Farplane event stories, have really good story writing to them. So if they can sort of build that connection bridge between the collaboration units and the War Division units, I think that would be a wonderful way to do a collaboration.
Okay. Apologies, Keto, if I said something incorrect. It's just,
Oh, no worries.
I know you play the Japanese version. You're one of the ones who talks a little bit more about it with me. So, but good points. Thank you. Merlox, how about you?
Okay, so I'm kind of on board with like what Akito said. The only collaboration event that we actually had a little bit of like story was between like Rain, Fina, and then it was Mon and Mashari, that one like Marlborough event. But that was a really short event. I could totally see them like if they could possibly make a little 10 episodic long event of like what those characters are going through. Because like just going back to someone else's point, I forget who it was, but they mentioned like Revisa's story, and I actually really enjoyed Revisa's story as well because it's very different from everyone else. Like it's not regarding literally anything else. It's about it's about Revis, and they meet up with Miranda, O, and Seymour, and they go on their own little adventure together. And you're like, wow, I actually know a little bit about not only Revis but these other 3 characters. Yeah, like that's a really cool, and that gets you like really invested in. There's, it's better than some of these other MR characters that are like, wait, who are they? what?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like that would make a really good collab happen. Where it's just, you write some story, you get them a little bit interested in the world, and it's like, oh hey, that's totally cool. I like that.
Okay. And Diggs, how about you?
Yeah, I think it's important that they do it in a way that they didn't do it in Brave Exvius, because in Brave Exvius, the collaboration stories were obnoxious some of the times, or even when they would introduce a new unit and you had to climb up all of the different floors, and it would just be like, an hour of reading the story through, like if you had just read all of the story and you're just skipping it. So like there has to be some way to make it nice, connecting it to a character or maybe a lesser known character. Potentially revealing another character's backstory would be great. And
Yeah.
I don't see why we couldn't, for example, reveal Phoebe and have like Phoebe having a dream, but she's in the Final Fantasy VII world, right? Where like maybe you learn something about Phoebe, or those visions are helping Phoebe in her dream, for example, or something like that, or a spell is cast, or someone's wandering a foreign land, right? So I don't understand why they couldn't just do something like that. And I think that would probably be the best. I think that would hook players in. And if they're not doing that, something more related to Trials of Reckoning or manualing the content would probably be good. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Good points. And ElderWolf, how about you?
So, one thing I enjoyed about Final Fantasy IV Collab, just besides being Final Fantasy IV, was the music was there, the crystal music in the beginning when you go to the far plane, and then the equipment, some of the equipment, iconic weapons, and so that just really made me relive a lot of the moments of playing Final Fantasy IV in all those different ways. So obviously, bringing that in is a cheap asset way of giving you a good foundation into that world. And Trials, that was real fun. Demon Wall, I think that was real fun to do. But I was going to say, before Diggs said the FFB did it wrong, I was going to say they did it kind of right. I liked when I didn't play a whole lot of FFB, but there was one event where you come in with Fina and two other girls, and you're kind of in the place of the heroes are fighting in the background, and you're trying to help out the issue. I think it was Final Fantasy VII maybe, and you're trying to help out the issue. Oh, here's the backstory of what's going on. We're going to help because we see this wrong. We're going to right, and you don't interfere with the main story. So you find out a little bit about that. That's interesting, or at least they're going to revisit a lot of these collabs that are Final Fantasy. So try to build up some kind of mini world there, so that you're excited when the next one comes through. You can do a little bit more of that dungeon, explore a little bit bigger.
I should point out, both times Final Fantasy VII came out in FFPE, I was not playing. So I probably missed that one if you thought that was like the prime example.
How dare you, Diggs?
Yeah, that's just one I remember. I played since February of last year, stopped around August. So there you have it.
Well, some interesting ideas for sure. And like, if there's one thing that I feel is just worth bringing up again, it's that ever since Tactics, we haven't seen an exclusive style event, which is so incredibly weird to me that our collaborations don't feel any different from the regular game that we are playing. It's like, okay, you're doing FF4, here's a raid. Okay, it's a regular week, here's a raid. Here's a Trial of Judgment, and it's a FF4, have a Trial of Judgment. And it's just like the dungeon from Tactics has literally been the most special moment in WOTF, because it was a completely different rule set or at least fairly different rule set that created a very unique thing to play through. And we haven't seen that since. And what has happened to it? What is going on the behind the scenes, where if they had the format, why aren't they using it anymore?
Yeah.
It's also like, where the hell is Final Fantasy Tactics at all right now?
Yeah.
Like, you would think that would be one of the first sets of EX units they would do.
Yeah. Like, do you think it's unreasonable in terms of the workload that they're putting out right now, how much content they're putting out, that collaborations just need to be better? What do you think, Keto?
I really can't say because I don't really know what goes on in terms of Gumi's workload. I don't know how their inner workings are like, how many people they have. Um, but I think it would serve them well in terms of opportunity costs to make sure that they create new and exciting content that that will make people stick with the game, and that increases their player base, people who are willing to spend because they support what they do. So yeah, I can't. Sorry, this is kind of like a non-answer, but I think it would benefit them to really put an effort to make in content like that.
Well, no, you're quite right. It is a bit of a non-answer because we can't give really so much of an answer. As much as people in chat want to engage with us in our streams and be like, well, do you think this? And it's just like, yeah, it just kind of sucks from a certain point of view where it's like the transparency isn't really there. We've never had a letter or a video at this point that's ever talked about the back end where people are just where anyone on the dev team has just kind of said, look, this is about what our current workload output has been with the current resources we've got, and this is kind of the situation. So maybe transparency is a little bit more important to understand, but I guess to wrap up this topic, oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was going to, because like in the producer letters, they kind of talk about like the updates they are going to make, right? And I remember kind of being a little disappointed. I think all the way back in the March producer letter, they talked about how they were working on making it easier to like raise units and develop them. And I think in the 8th Leonis National Broadcast stream, they kind of presented their grand vision of making everything easier, which was basically increasing the availability in Mog Shop and the Soul Stars and the Vision Stars, and they kind of made that seem like it was a really, really big deal when it, like, when you think of it, they've been planning this supposedly for 3 months, right? It kind of seems a little lacking in that sense. So yeah, I think the transparency really will help.
So
It sounds like we need to interview someone from Gumi off the
Please.
books.
Yeah, I think that would help. What's nice though is I remember like I really recommend people who haven't watched them to watch the Leonis broadcast streams because they do bring in like the producers and talk about what they're doing. And I remember one memorable thing about one of the past streams was they actually addressed, so basically in Japan every few months they will do like a questionnaire for JP players. All the players can have access to this and they can answer it. And they actually addressed that live on the stream. And they showed a lot of people's comments and even like a lot of negative ones, right? There were like some comments where like, game sucks. It sucks because of this. And they give out like kind of, I would say, economically not really viable suggestions to do, but they lay them out. And they kind of talked about that. And I thought that was interesting, right? They were being super transparent about that, but they're not really transparent in exactly how their resources are split. But then again, I think a lot of game developers don't do that. So I think that's one of those really industry kind of things that I don't really have knowledge of.
Okay. Good points for sure. Elder, anything you would like to say?
Well, yeah, without transparency, it's hard to say, but I do know that most game development outfits and just most outfits that do programming in general are always understaffed. QA being the worst, that's always understaffed, and they get overridden. But I guess to touch on maybe the had a point and I don't remember what it was now, but I think you were talking about what makes collab or being more ingrained into the collabs, and I like having a little gimmick. I loved FFBE. Every time these slots came back, I'm a slot addict. I would love to have something like that. Just different mechanics that don't come around all the time, and keep building on that. And not really along the top, kind of a parallel topic, but when I first started playing FFB, I didn't think I was going to get behind any of the characters because it's not official Final Fantasy stuff. But I really liked Rain and that whole story. I have not felt that as much here in Wotive. I don't think they go as deep. Mont is all about, I want to protect everybody, and now he's like, I want to protect everybody that's named Masherie. So
all right, so mark the time. We had our first Masherie slam, I think, of the episode. I think that is always worth noting. That should be an InterVisions thing. But yeah, I guess it's going to be interesting because it's about 2 months away from FF7 coming to global, and I'm going to be very interested seeing the global reactions about what people think, because I don't think it's going to get improved from what JP gets. I think you guys will get the copy pasta, except Vision, for some reason, Cloud's Vision card is going to have a bonus for Cloud, because Cloud is not strong enough yet.
Yep. Don't worry, I'll make a rage video about it.
We're going to get an Americanized version of Jaden too. We're going to get those guns blazing.
I wouldn't be surprised. But all right, thank you guys so much for joining me on that big topic. I guess we have, if you guys are okay, we can maybe take a single or two questions from the chat. If there are any questions, I did not collect any early. I need to be better about that. But we can also
talk.
As long
as it's not Hydrex.
Yeah, we can talk about Hydrex.
While we're doing that, I'm just going to announce the winner. The winner of the Coliseum of Perfection is Akkeito with the most points. Congratulations, Akkeito. Wolf came in second place, Diggs in third, and Merlox gave it a good effort. So thank you.
I think it'd be fun to try to actually use those units without any equipment or anything, doing friendly battles sometimes.
That's what I'm thinking, right? I'm like, Akkeito has no equipment, and I just brought a guild battle team that's currently winning in the meta right now, and everyone's like, "No, meta's losing now."
Well, there you go. What doesn't work in theory works in the real world. Remember that, kids. All right. So, Diggs, did you say you had a question?
I have no questions.
Oh, no questions?
But I think Andy's question is great, which is, what the hell happened to the art contest? Because I want to know. All
right, so there's our first question. So here's the question. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. What happened to that global art contest? This also, I guess, gets into communication a little bit with globalers, and well, JP players don't have the greatest communication, though we have the live or the producer letters. So Diggs, what do you think? What happened to that art contest?
I have no idea. I mean, I know it takes Japan, 3 months to do anything and 1 month to make a decision and get back to you. That's been pretty standard in any interaction I've been hearing with Square Enix. And it's been almost 2 months now. So I'm surprised we have not heard anything. There's been no announced winners. I'm surprised there hasn't been a tease at all, right? Because this is Freyevia and Freyevia EX, and I don't know, little wonder what's going on.
All right, Merlox, what about you? Where's that art contest?
Where's that art contest? Well, Gummy's probably just gonna totally just redo it in their own little style, and then they're gonna submit it, and the original artist is gonna be really sad about it. That's probably what they're doing.
My, yes, that is quite sad, actually, to think about. Akkeito, how about you? What do you think?
I think it's just a timing thing, really. Right? Because like Glaciella won the popularity contest in the half-year anniversary. and she didn't get released a year later, right? So I think, I think Merlo knows a bit more about this, but I think that the art contest is sponsored by Amazon, if I remember correctly. And so you're going to need communication between Amazon also and Gumi, Gumi. And so I think that also adds on to the communication time. And so I think we just have to wait. I think Gumi's also looking when to implement Freya via EX. So I think there's just a lot of things that are going inside that could be communicated, but I think we just have to wait maybe 10 more months, and then eventually it'll be there.
All right.
Just to clarify, so I don't get in trouble, the art contest is not sponsored by Amazon. It is in cooperation with Amazon, and they were very clear about that because it's really weird for Amazon to do anything with Square Enix, and Square Enix did not want them to sponsor it, which was really interesting. So,
okay, thank you for your clarification.
Resting. All right.
This guy's the Amazon dude, not me.
I'm not sponsored by anyone. I get to say whatever I want. Elder, what do you think?
So I think there's poor communication with contests in general. I think that the artwork contest kind of lies in between, some of these other contests that have been run, like the Facebook contest, and then, to the highness of the voting contest. So I actually won the first Facebook contest.
No way!
I won Facebook or thoughts, the fragment of thoughts. I wanted the orbs better, but I found out because I got a message on my device and it looked fake to begin with. So I took a little bit look trying to make sure that's the right person, and like message us back with your ID, and I did, and like 24 hours later I get everything. But they never posted said, hey, here's the winners, or just anything about it. And so I went to Reddit and said, hey guys, I won. Did anybody else win? Just to show you there are winners. So there's lack of communication there. And of course, since it is going to be tied into a actual game item, there's COVID to think about, and not just COVID in the United States. This is in two different areas. I don't know if this will come out for global, but there's going to be decisions made in different areas. So I think we have to wait. Maybe one and a half year it'll be announced, which seems a little late, but.
I wonder if the game will still be here in 1.5 years.
I wonder if Fryavi is going to be useful or that.
The later she gets her EX, maybe the more OP she'll be. But good answers. The last question is from It's the Woe Guy, and this is what we'll be ending with our Q&A with. Will there be more MR units in the future? This is a great one because selection quests are a thing. You can only use mostly MR units, and there haven't been any in a small amount of time.
Ilma.
Yep. Which just happened on global not too long ago, right? So.
Yes.
Diggs, what do you think? Will there be MRs?
No, we're not going to get MRs anymore. We're going to get nothing below MR, unfortunately. What I think they're going to do is they're going to utilize the MR and below roster for like beginning players and for more like challenging, competent content, if that makes sense, for like starter players, which is why the select quests are tied to them. But we are probably never going to see an MR unit again.
All right, Merlox?
I'm unfortunately in the same agreement as Diggs. There is unfortunately how they're treating all these new URs that don't have limit breaks that are pretty much MR characters, but they get tied into the same pools and all that. It's unfortunate. What are you about to say?
Interestingly, I would be curious to see the stat comparison of the select quest URs to some of the better EX MRs to see if they were previously MRs that became URs. That would be something interesting to study.
This might be a little bit of a conspiracy thing, but I really think that they're just trying to like dilute the UR pool even more. They're just like, oh boy, here's some more, and now you're gonna have to spend more resources and all that garbage. I'm just like, oh, okay. There's my.
It's not a bad theory, and that's what it happens all the time over gacha games. But still.
Yeah.
All right, Akkeito, how about you?
I'm pretty conflicted. I think I would probably edge on the sides of saying that there probably won't be any new MRs. I think this coming Dark Selection quest is the first time where you possibly, if you didn't do the tactics event, you don't even have the 5 slots, right? I think there's only 4 MR or below dark units besides Gafgarion. So it's kind of weird, I think. Although you can now bring in the UR units from that selection quest into the selection quest, but I found that really weird, and I felt that kind of unsettling. And it does seem that Gumi is kind of trending towards dividing up the rarities in terms of cost rather than by actual rarity. So I do think that that's kind of the trend. I am quite a bit worried if we ever see like 120 costs coming in the near future. I know that in the stream, Gumi said that we don't have any plans for 120 cost units, but they also added yet. And yeah, that was the big thing. So I'm a bit worried about that.
110 cost, 130 cost, 140 cost, 150,
Right.
200.
That would be scary.
You're gonna have to add those ElderVisions rarity units.
Oh, please don't. Not yet. No red books. We are not allowed red books for at least another 5 years. All right.
Wow.
But Elder, how about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any more MR units. And I think didn't we only get MR units collab with Final Fantasy Tactics? Or were those the only ones?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I'm not sure if that was just because there was a big pool of them or they decided against it when they're bringing in new characters. But
Wait, what about Ishtola? She's an MR collaboration unit, right?
She came
she's
first.
not. She came out. Yeah, that was when they had hopes and dreams for the game. It worries me because it seems like they had an idea, they strayed from it. I think with a gotcha, some of those characters are needed. You see in FFBE, there's a lot of non 7-star units, and there's still non 7-star units coming out, or at least non Neovisions. But they're kind of a joke. Nobody uses them, so it's a tough place they're in. And I think you're exactly right as far as the selection quest. The current MRs are going to be used. That's why they're there. They're for new players to get new units. Is that an afterthought? I don't know, but I don't think we'll see any more of those, which is a shame because it's. I think it kind of builds up a little bit. I got this MR unit. At least I can play with something, a light version of something I really wanted that I couldn't pull. And, will we ever stop getting MR vision cards?
Yep.
Probably at some point. But
I mean, let's just be honest. If we stop getting MR vision cards, Diggs would be super happy about that right now.
I mean, the MR vision cards are literally the hardest things to pull in the game. I bet you they are the hardest thing to pull in the game because of how they do the banners and stuff.
We
I got 2 elements. I got no lightning kitties.
We do have some statistical data from all of your polls, actually, so that's very handy for us right now to make that assumption. But I see some people talking about Ishtola. She does count, Andy. Don't worry. It's just that I think the point was that what was the last MR unit in a collaboration, which was Mustadio, because Ishtola technically came first, and in the topic of FF4, maybe someday we're going to have some special InterVisions, because I know that there's some InterVisions guests who play FF4 or 14, sorry. So maybe we can have
who would play Final Fantasy 14?
I don't know. I do. I have a character. When the new content launches, we might have a special we're looking into some special InterVisions episodes. Maybe with some D&D stuff, maybe some game stuff. So keep your eyes out for that, everyone.
I'm ready to be an elitist Final Fantasy 14 player. FF logs me. Let's go.
Are you going to be Reaper when the new content comes out?
No, I am Warrior only because it's the best job in the game.
Did I hear that you're going to be able to go to different servers in the future?
So there's already server transfer or server movement. but they're adding data center travel.
That's cool because maybe one day I want to play with Diggs. Maybe I want to
That's
play with
well,
all
I
these
mean,
other people.
I think we talked about this before, but you're literally on my server already. So
Yeah.
All right. All right. So Merlox, Keto, Diggs, and Wolf, I want you all on this special FF14 one. Maybe when the new content launches. That might be a fun little thing to do for sure. But I think we've come about to the end of the episode because I think I don't want to keep these gentlemen away from potentially some rest and relaxation that they have well earned by this point. So we'll turn it over to each of our guests and let them have some time to say anything they want to plug for this week, their own videos, their own streams. They are allowed to have full control for a short period of time. So Diggs, you are first, sir.
I don't have much to say this week. It's a pretty chill week right now for me. We'll probably be streaming maybe tomorrow and Sunday for Wotiv. Look forward to showing off Black Rose Helena. I'm planning on doing a video about Luelle as well because I think she is criminally underrated and I absolutely love her.
Excellent.
.gs/coins or something.
Oh my God, no! I would not. I'm not promoting that on our InterVisions. I'm not.
So, yes, please make sure you follow Mr. Diggs, although I'm pretty sure everyone has at this point. It's still worth re-mentioning. He's a great streamer and fantastic to watch his content. So, Merlox, how about you? What you got on the docket for...
I mostly stream, as Diggs will say. He's like an event streamer. I'm like a marathon streamer, and I barely post on YouTube, and he's on YouTube all the time. We're just like the opposites. So anyways, yep, we stream. Maybe I'll put out a YouTube video, maybe. But other than that, I just want to send out one message to the Gumi.
I need content, please.
All right, there we go. That's it.
Excellent. All right. And so definitely follow Merlox on his Twitch channel. And Keto, how about you? What you got going on?
Yeah, well, the first thing I want to say is thank you so much, Umber Race, for organizing this. It's been an absolute blast to be in this podcast. And I guess the second thing is I think this podcast highlighted a lot of the things that Gumi could be doing. And I think that Gumi is... I think overall Wotiv is still doing great. I think that the developers are taking into account some things that people are saying. I think that the game is still headed into a great direction. I think that you can still have a lot of fun with this game. Sort of, maybe the boomer mentality in us kind of wants to be like, oh, MR units were great and stuff. And I think MR units are great. And that's just like that's just a small example of it. But I think that, as the game evolves, then there will be some things we don't like, but some things that we also like and look forward to. So I think I just wanted to end on a super positive note because I think Wotiv is still a very great game.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely wouldn't be here even doing this show if we all truly hated it. We'd all be playing... Yeah. I don't know we'd all be Genshin streamers, right? That's where the money is.
Oh my God,
that's the
no.
Real, that's the real money.
No.
I might be kidding. All right, so
you might be kidding. You might. Wow, that's a keyword right there.
Got to keep it a little controversial, otherwise we lose our stream appeal somewhat. But Keto, is there anywhere people should more follow you, Twitch or YouTube?
Yeah, I stream occasionally at twitch.tv/ I think it's Akkeito. And you can also follow my YouTube, which I think is also youtube.com/Keito. I'm not sure.
All right. Yeah. Minute says we need a Ghibli stream, so get on that.
Okay. We'll definitely do that soon.
All right. And ElderWolf, I'm going to give just a little special shout out to him because more people need to watch Returnal, and this man is streaming Returnal, and Returnal is one of the best games of the year. And Elder is an awesome guy, so you should definitely follow him on Twitch. But I've done enough promotion for you, Elder. Your turn.
Cool. Yeah, I stream a little bit on twitch.tv/ElderWolf_. My name was already taken. And then YouTube, ElderWolf9, ElderWolf with a U, and then a number 9 because my name was already taken. Bastards. I don't know why people suddenly came up with my name. I've been using it since I was 16, and that was a long, long time ago when dinosaurs roamed the earth. I do feel like Wodav is heading in a better direction. I like to see those pities. I hate to see the people that left that didn't have those pities to support them. I'm kind of curious if something was up with the Rosa or the Black Rose, because yes, there are still people that didn't get her, but the number of 2 and 3 pulls I saw in the 9 step were just unreal that I've seen. You know, I can't count how many I saw in my guild alone.
Wow.
But you know, I think it's definitely heading in a better direction. I want it to keep doing that, and I enjoy the game. I want to keep enjoying it. And I guess that's about it.
Excellent. All right. Well, of course, I think that everyone watching should like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell, ring the gong. I don't know, what do all the normal YouTubers say to everybody out there that this kind of stuff?
Smash that like button.
That's what it is. Smash it. For all 4 of these wonderful guests today, they were absolutely amazing. And I want to thank each and every one of them so much for joining me today, because InterVisions would nowhere near be as amazing if we didn't have some amazing content creators out there. So thank you guys. And also, thanks to Discord for hosting this many videos at once and not crashing. It was actually just on my side where we had a little bit of lag. That's pretty good. So... yeah, I've been Umber Rays, and we'll, I guess, just give a good old wave off and see you in the next episode of InterVisions. Who knows when it'll be, but whenever it will be, I will be undoubtedly joined by some amazing individuals. See you next time, everyone.
Please wave.
Wish I could wave.
Okay.